know me know that I have a passion of a few things. I mean, as I guess as y'all are getting to learn me on this platform, I do dabble in a lot of different things. My first love, as far as career choice, it was always criminal justice law. That turned into family law as a second love of law. For the ones that truly know me, know Tamira, Shorty T, Gangsta, whoever you used to call me, they know there's a certain amount of things that I just love to do. Like, a passion of mine. Like, one of my passions is dancing, of course. People used to tell me, like, girl, keep still. Oh my gosh, she always moving. Like, but that was my thing. I love to dance. And even now to this day, even though I'm older and them bones don't move the way they like all the time, I still like to dance. That's who I am, And in this video, I guess I'm sharing one of my passions that I love as well. On top of dancing, I'm sure y'all could see by now, I love singing. I know at one point in my life, especially when I was in high school, when, back in the 90s, when 80s, late 80s, early 90s, where people was trying to break out and go into the music industry. Me and a couple of my friends, we used to get together and we used to think that we were gonna make it big one day. And I was a little bit versatile because I could sing and I could rap. So especially with that baby, hit it baby D, hit it baby T. Yeah. So I had that love. So like when it comes down to music, like I absolutely love music. And thanks to my grandmother who I got to spend a lot of time with before she died. She died early. Not my grandmother who recently died last year, but my dad's mother, that grandmother that I was raised with, the father that I was raised with, the grandmother that I knew. She introduced me for my love of country music. So I had an array of music that I always loved. I'm telling y'all, like when it came to music, it was just something about the melody, something about the sound. But then it was just something about when that guitar played, like whether it was electric, whether it was just the regular guitar, just the sound of that, something lit inside of me. And for those that know my story knows why now. My mother, she sung. My mother sings. I mean, that woman started singing and she will light up the room. She has a beautiful voice. Of course, she gave her voice over to God. You ain't gonna ever catch her singing a worldly song. All her songs are all about the Lord. So much so they call her Sister Edwards, but so does everybody in the family, Sister Edwards. Because that's who her voice is. God gave her a voice, and that's she blessed people through her voice, and that's who she gives all her praises to. But that was a gift that I gotten from my mom, was singing, which I gave to my girls as well, because those girls got some beautiful voices. I mean, from my oldest all the way down to my third child. Now I do have 4 girls, but her gift is not singing. Her gift and her talent is her art. She is an artist. She creates. That is her gift. And it ain't no shade against her, but my baby just don't sing. That one just don't sing, okay? So she didn't take after her mama on that note. But that was one of my loves. One of my loves was singing. And of course, it probably was going to happen that way because my mother, she's a singer, and I grew up in the church. I was a singer, never really the singer that stood on the forefront, but more so in the back when it came to singing in the choir. So, when you're singing with a choir, you can kind of hide your voice in there. So a lot of people probably didn't realize I could sing as well as I could sing. But that came out over time when people really got to know me. And then I would shy away because of my voice. I have one of those raspy, deeper voices, which allows me to talk in a lot of different tones when it comes to my voice. Now, my most comfortable singing is alto, where I have a deeper melody that seems to just flow. But every now and then when I sing, you'll hear me where I can hit those notes. Like my mama, she is a true soprano, and my third daughter, oh my Lord, like I told you, when she sings, people think it's an angel in the room when she sings, because she has a very angelic voice. But when it came to me, I pretty much sung in that mellow tone. Like the sopranos did their thing, the basses did their thing, and I was the one who was in between. That's why I never really cared about being up front, because I had a different and a unique type of voice. But every now and then that soprano would come out and I could hit those notes. But long term, I can't carry that. But one of my loves that I've always had was songwriting. And when I met my other side of my family on my biological father's side, and I got to meet my sisters, that's where it all kind of came together, because one of my sisters told me, oh my goodness, we're the same. Like I literally sit there and I write songs. My kids write songs. And then I heard my other sister say how their kids would write songs. But that was one of my things that I did, even when my kids were growing up. You know, I have a daughter who is autistic. And one of the ways I taught her a lot of things that she learned was through singing. So when I learned that she loved music and that girl could sing and she could blow, that was one way I could try to teach her. I could try to teach her through songs. And then as a family, we will always try to make up dances. Of course, I was the one who was doing all the dances for the kids and trying to get them. And matter of fact, I didn't want to push them into the entertainment industry, but if that was something that they wanted to do, I was all for it, you know. And they each was blessed with their own gifts if that's what they wanted to do. But I never wanted to push my dream off on them. But throughout my life, I still continue to write songs. It amazes me sometimes how my kids will just start singing a song they remember I sung or I made or wrote when they were little kids, and then out of the blue they'll just jump and they start saying, "Mama, you remember this?" Of course I remember that. Oh, you remember that? You know, that was my thing. And now I'm older, so far as getting into that whole music industry thing and just seeing how Hollywood is nowadays, I don't think I probably would have fit it anyway, because that's just not who I am. Or either I would have been a different type of celebrity, how I handle myself. But in any event, the love of recording, not necessarily recording far as being in a studio, but the love of writing a song and recording a song has always been there. I have continued to dabble in that, so much so like I have songs that just be like going in my head, and I'll write them down sometimes, but sometimes like I'll write it down. And I used to work for a time or two. I would write the songs down and then it would kind of go away. But it's like certain songs would stick inside me, and like I had to just either start singing them or doing something to get them out my mind. And that's kind of where It's Different came from. That was a song that and that was really a song that I've heard in my head my whole life. It's different. And it really solidified when I got to a point of my life where I was just, y'all, really, the meaning behind the song, if a lot of people listen to it, they probably think I'm talking about a relationship, but I'm not talking about a relationship with another person. I'm talking about a relationship of getting to know who I was. So the song It's Different was really about me, who I was. The getting to know me as a person growing up. You know, when you're growing up, you're learning stuff about yourself, then realizing something just ain't right, and then you having that journey, then you having life tragedy that hits you the way it hits you. And so on that first verse, and it said, you know, why you want to close your eyes and turn away this time. That was really where my mindset was a few times in my life. And that's the part where some people, they'll sometimes come back and try to throw that back on me, or they'll be like, why are you telling people that? Because that was where I was at that point in time. And I'm not ashamed of it. God pulled me through from it. And there's so many people that are going through that. But that's what, this is the meaning of that song. And it's still a song that's in the making. It's not a song that is still inside me. And I'm still trying to figure out how to formulate all the words to that song in order to get it out. Because you can write it on paper, but just because that's the way you feel and then you write it on paper don't necessarily mean that's going to translate into a song. And all my songwriters out there know what I'm talking about. And but that's where that song come from. So when it kept coming in my head, I mean, it was flooding my head last night. Like, it was like either sing it or get it out, say it or do something just to let it out. Because, and, it could have been a trick of the enemy because of where the song really derived from, trying to put negative thoughts in my head, but I refuse to allow that to happen. I will make the negative into a positive. But I just had to get that out. And I also wanted to just share the direction, because when I was listening to that song again, I was like, ooh, people probably think this is about a relationship. So I went and I let my daughter listen to it. I was like, what do you feel when you hear this song? And she was like, it sounds so like peaceful, like a time maybe I wasn't so stressed. I was like, really? She was like, yeah. I said, well, does it make you think of a relationship? And she was like, no, not really. She was like, it just makes me want to, like, it makes my mind just think of when I was at a place and time where it was peaceful and relaxful. And so I said, well, would you have imagined that song? She was like, Mom, why don't you write songs and put your songs on YouTube? And I was like, I don't know, because my song. I said this particular song here, it was just a song I just felt like I had to get out, but out from inside of me. But she was like, Mom, you probably need to just write songs and put them on YouTube, or maybe I'll use some of my songs in different ways, as in intros or in my new up and coming skits that I'm about to start venturing off on. Maybe I'll do it that way, but it's different. Like I told her, I said, songwriting is a close place to my heart, because a lot of my songs that I do write are about experiences that I'm having, which I'm sure a lot of people do, or I've seen, or I've gotten to share, and I felt connected with a particular person. But yeah, I just basically wanted to write this. I was watching the stats on it, and it started off slow, and I kind of figured it would probably do that, y'all. And I look at, see what my mind is. I was actually trying to get into character and Miss Brenda. I was actually trying to get into character with Miss Brenda. She's sort of, she's a helpful one, and she be wanting to help people, but she's a little dingy, okay? And that's what this whole thing was. I was trying to get into character with that. And I forgot to take him out of my ear before I had recorded this. I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, girl. That's kind of what you get when you be doing and dibbling and dabbling a lot of different things. But I just really wanted to talk about the song that I wrote. And like I said, it's starting off a little slow, but that's to be expected, because nobody knows who I am and nobody's ever heard my song. But at this current time that I'm looking at it, I've had 157 people who have listened to that portion of my song. And I just want to say thank y'all. Man, thank y'all. And it's going up. It's literally, it's just going up. Now, what I have noticed when uploading videos, like, and whether it's been a short or a video, when you upload it early in the morning, you run the chance of it not getting seen by a lot of people, or it might take days before it really takes off the way it could have taken off if you would have did it within a certain time frame of your audience being online. And I think that's what is happening with this particular song, because it seems like a lot of people are liking my song, because a lot of people are actually watching the clip of it. Is different on my short. So go check that out, y'all. And thank y'all. Man. These songs that I've written my whole life was really for me and my kids. And to know I got now 159 people who have heard one of my clips of one of many songs that I have written. But this one being so near and dear to my heart, y'all. It's the story of my life. It's different. It's different was talking about possibly walking away from life itself. And I'm battling within myself saying, why you want to close your eyes and turn around this time? Why you want to close your eyes and turn away this time? It's different. There's no words to express the love that faded over time. It's different. I was all of you, and you was all of me. That's when our love was meant to be. Yeah, that's oh, 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 oh. That is literally that's me, y'all. That is my song. And as we're sitting here looking, y'all know I'll be looking at that data. 160 people have watched that clip. And I am going to finish that song. I'm going to continue writing that song and putting it out. I think that's probably one of my therapeutic moments that have allowed me to heal from a lot of different situations over the years. Through song, through, talking, through listening to other people's perspectives on a situation. Y'all, this is me. This is me. I'm just sharing a little part of me on my platform so that my viewers, the people who are connected with me, the people who truly rock with me and not just here because they like what I said one time, and then the minute I say something different, they want to exit out of the picture that they don't like. Well, this is me, y'all. This is the real Tamara, who I've been giving y'all the whole time. SkitLanta is, and let me go ahead and say, I'll talk about SkitLanta. SkitLanta is a name that I took on because of the Country Wayne skit. He was doing skits and they was in Atlanta, SkitLanta. It was a name that a lot of people used to say in the Wayne's world. We call it SkitLanta. I myself used to say SkitLanta, before it was even a thing that caught on. And then people started to say it. And then I kind of took on the name because Country Wayne Skits was what took my channel to the next level in order to be recognized, got myself out there. But as all things, if you're going to do something, make sure you could do it on your own, because you don't want to be so reliant on just the source that you're doing. And so all my stuff is all surrounded by Country Wayne. What if he decides to stop? Or what if I don't continue to want to watch it, no more, right now they're going through something. I can tell, I can tell a little skit going through something. I don't know what's going on here, but, it has me in a kind of a chokehold where I'm at, where I want to talk about it, but then I don't, because it just ain't making sense right now to me, and I'm not finna bash it. It just seemed like to me they got something going on. But that's not my series. So with SkitLanta commentary, it pretty put me up in an umbrella where I could do various different things, including starting my own skits. And then I know I had one of my viewers, Latanya, she was like, oh man, your name completely went over my head. Now I get it, now that you did the SkitLanta. Yeah, it's about skits. But you know me, look here, I'm not sticking with one niche. I'm not down with the niche down community. Oh, you part of the niche down community? No, I'm not part of the niche down community. I'm part of the community that likes to dabble in a lot of things. And niching down for me will be too constraining, as well as having too many channels for me will not work. As I've said before, eventually I got to get back to working my business, or either deciding, is it time to pivot from that business and take on what I'm doing now? But at some point, I got to get back into the rotations of things. Even now where I'm currently at with the situation that is going on, where it got a lot of the stuff that I do place on hold, I have to kind of get back to a point where I got to start back doing something to bring something in, because we're at a point now where it's too tight. You know, it's just too locked. It's too tight. I gotta do what I gotta do here. So, the videos will probably not be as many moving forward starting next week. And I was kind of trying to position myself while I'm here to where I could see how it would affect my channel. And I did make a video before where I said maybe one of the issues that I was having with my channel, that I was posting too much, even though that is how I got myself noticed, by posting multiple times a day. But what I'm starting to realize at this point in my journey, that posting too much might be what's hindering me, because the lesser that I post, the more views I'm seeing that I am getting. So I'm trying to watch a little bit of that now. You'll have noticed that, except for the 29th where I posted, I posted 2 videos then. I post a short. But what you'll notice is I am starting to get more of a routine, especially with, and not just putting a whole bunch of videos out on one day. Y'all know I could put them out here. You know, I had the time, so I got the time. Let me go ahead and be creative. So let me put a video out there. And I'm not just throwing videos up. I'm actually planning these out. I'm thinking about them. It's strategically done. But I had a lot of time on my hands. But like I said, I got to a point now where I'm noticing at this point where I'm at, it's time to pivot to something a little more strategic far as uploading my videos. And what I have noticed is the lesser that I post, the more views that I am getting. And when I did post a lot, so a lot of people were looking at, oh, you're only getting 30, you're only getting 50 views, but I'm posting multiple times a day. And you add all those views up, then it's a bigger number than what you're thinking. But if you're looking at one video per se, then okay, maybe you got a valid point. I'm not getting a lot of views, but I'm still getting paid. And so I don't know what it is people be looking at on this stuff, if they really understand what is actually going on. But I will say at this point, posting less is actually working in my favor when it comes to the vain metric of number of views on a video. Is actually helping to increase those numbers, because what views I used to get on like posting 5 or 6 videos a day, I'm now getting on one video. So I guess to the viewer, it might look like, ooh, more people want to watch. Let me see what this person is talking about, because it looks like a lot of people want to watch it, versus them just listening to the message and getting the message, receiving the message that is being presented in the video, versus just looking at numbers. Because to me, numbers are really vain. But time is of the essence, and time is so important, and time is something that you cannot get back. And as you evolve and you take on new things, whether it is your job, whether it is your career choice, whether it is family, or whatever it is, you have to focus on that time management when doing so. And I'm going to put a clip at the end of this video about time management and why time management is so important to everybody, y'all, in order to make it work for y'all. But thank y'all for the support. Again, I'm sitting here looking, y'all, I'm looking at this number. These numbers are, that number is increasing. 161 views at the end of this video. And last night, I not right before I had did that one, early that day, I had did Smile. And that video, whoa, that was my first short that really took off fast. Now, I have had views of shorts with those amount of views, but not that fast. That Smile short that I did, currently it is sitting at 1,471, y'all. I hit 8,000 views within less than 30-40 minutes. I never seen that. And then it tapered off, but it's still growing. It's a steady growth on that one particular short. So I'm looking at that one because that one might be one of those breakout shorts, or who knows, once more people hear it's different, maybe it might be as different. But right now, Smile is running the headliner for me, y'all. All right, well, I'm not gonna hold y'all up too much here because y'all know I get to talking and I can talk, okay? But I just wanted to share a little part of me and thank y'all for the support as always. And I'm gonna end it like I always end it, y'all. Be your brothers and sisters keeper. Keep God first. And so does.